Tell Lord Tywin, 20,000 Northerners marching south to find out if he really does shit gold.
Robb Stark never lost a battle. He captured the most valuable prisoner in Westeros. His army was loyal. The North was winning. And then came the Red Wedding. Not a betrayal, not a twist, a consequence.
The Lannisters send their regards.
Because Robb Stark didn't lose the war in one moment. He lost it decision by decision. While Robb was winning battles, Tywin Lannister was already winning the war. These are the mistakes that destroyed Robb Stark. Some are obvious, and some are the ones that actually mattered. Let's start with the obvious one. Robb marrying Talisa.
I love her.
But here's the thing, this is not really about marrying the wrong woman or not marrying the right one. It goes deeper than that. This is where Robb stops acting like a king and starts acting like a person. Before this, he had a deal with Walder Frey.
Lord Walder has granted your crossing. His men are yours as well.
Marriage in exchange for troops, crossing, support.
You will marry one of his daughters, whichever you prefer.
Not romantic, just power. And Walder Frey is not just some random old man.
Walder Frey is a dangerous man to cross.
Might be the least pleasant man I've ever met.
Yes.
He's exactly the kind of man you don't want to insult.
Expect nothing of Walder Frey, and you'll never be surprised.
He is bitter, proud, and obsessed with status.
Your boy's too proud to come before me himself.
And not very loyal.
You swore an oath to my father.
Oh, yes. I said some words.
The kind of man who remembers every slight. He literally says it himself.
Your family's always pissed on me.
My lord, I will...
Don't deny it. You know it's true.
And now Robb does the same thing, publicly, as a king.
You gave him your word.
And this is where the real damage happens. It's not the marriage itself, it's the humiliation.
He's getting the wedding he wanted.
He's getting a wedding. It was a king he wanted.
Because in that moment, Robb doesn't just lose an ally.
It wasn't me who spurned, it was my girls. One of them was supposed to be queen. Now none of them are.
He creates an enemy who has every reason to wait and choose the perfect moment to strike. That would already be a big problem, but that's not all. At the same time, he sends a message to everyone else. His word doesn't hold.
You gave him your word. Treat your oaths recklessly, and your people will do the same.
And in a war built on alliances, that's much more dangerous than losing a battle.
All men should keep their word. Kings most of all.
And if that was the only mistake, maybe he will recover. He doesn't. This one looks small at first. It's not.
We can't take King's Landing without ships. My father has ships and men who know how to sail.
Robb sends Theon Greyjoy to the Iron Islands.
I'm his only living son. He'll listen to me.
Sounds reasonable. Trusted person, knows the place. But this is not about sending the wrong man. It's about how Robb reads people.
I'm not a Stark, I know that. But your father raised me to be an honorable man.
To Robb, Theon is almost a brother. They grew up together.
I've lived with him, fought at his side. He thinks of me as a brother.
No.
But politically, he's a hostage.
Your master doesn't seem to like Lannisters.
He's not my master.
Of course not.
And Robb assumes one thing, that loyalty beats identity. That Theon will choose him over his own name, his father.
Not here, not in my hearing. You will not name him brother.
His entire past.
Or have you forgotten your own blood?
His father doesn't even have to try hard. He just reminds Theon who he is.
That is who I am. That is who we have always been.
And Robb never seriously considers what happens next. What if Theon switches sides?
What is dead may never die.
What if the Ironborn use everything he knows? None of that is a part of the plan.
This cannot be true.
And this is where something bigger shows up. Robb doesn't think in scenarios. He thinks in a straight line. He makes a decision and assumes the world will follow it.
You don't want Balon Greyjoy for an ally.
I need his ships. They say he has 200.
It doesn't. The North gets invaded.
I've taken Winterfell.
Winterfell falls.
I'm afraid it is true.
And suddenly, Robb loses his home.
I told you never trust a Greyjoy.
And is fighting 2 wars instead of 1.
How can I call myself king if I can't hold my own castle?
And this is only the second mistake. And now Robb has something no one else in Westeros has.
They have my son.
Tywin's son, heir to Casterly Rock, the most valuable hostage in the entire war. This is not a prisoner. This is leverage. And Robb doesn't use it. No serious negotiations, no real pressure on Tywin, no strategy built around him.
Have you grown fond of me, Stark? Is that it?
He just keeps the hostage in a cage, and that's it.
But you drag me along from camp to camp.
The mistake is that Robb never turns him into power, because if something is that valuable, you don't just guard it. You build your entire strategy around it.
We must return to Casterly Rock to raise
They
more.
have my son!
And even the control is weak. Lannister almost escapes once on his own. That alone tells you everything. And then comes the real break.
The Kingslayer. He escaped in the night.
Catelyn frees him, not because she's reckless, because she's desperate.
I have 5 children and only one of them is free.
And that's the second layer of the mistake. Robb never built a system strong enough to prevent something like this. No strict control, no clear rules, no understanding that this one prisoner matters more than any single battle he wins. And the result? He loses his biggest advantage in the war and gets nothing in return.
You knew I would not allow it, and you did it anyway.
3 decisions in, and Robb has already lost his reputation, his northern rear, and the only leverage he had over Tywin. He doesn't realize it yet, but from this point on, it only gets worse. This one is quieter, but much more dangerous. Robb trusts Bolton, gives him commands and independent forces.
We'll travel to the funeral together. Lord Bolton will garrison here until we return.
Never really questions him. Why? Because he's a banner man. And for Robb, that's enough.
You're a Stark bannerman, Lord Bolton.
Bolton is not fighting to win the war. He's fighting to survive it.
I should send you back to Robb Stark.
You should. Instead, you're sitting here.
And profit from it.
Many people would pay a great deal for you.
We both know who would pay the most.
He waits, and Robb doesn't see it, because Robb assumes something again. That loyalty exists on its own, that if someone gives their word, they'll keep it. But Bolton doesn't think like that. He stays loyal while it benefits him, and the moment it doesn't, he's ready to switch.
As soon as you're well enough to travel, I will allow you to go to King's Landing.
And this is where everything connects. Theon was the same mistake, just in a different form. Robb doesn't read people, he projects his own values onto them. And then Robb hands Roose Winterfell.
Let me send word to my bastard at the Dreadfort.
Tell your son Brandon Rickon's safety is paramount.
Now ask yourself, does Bolton use that for Robb's war, or for his own position? By the time Robb understands what kind of man Bolton is, it's already too late. And this is the second time this happens. It won't be the last. This is where Robb starts destroying his own army. Karstark loses his sons.
And Torrent
Was strangled by the Kingslayer.
He wants revenge, so Karstark does something emotional. He kills 2 Lannister hostages.
Those boys didn't kill your sons.
It changes nothing in the war, but now Robb has to respond. And this is the moment that matters. He has options. Punish him later, or never. Remove him from command. Keep his army, because Karstark is not just a man.
Karstarks are Northmen. They won't forgive the killing of their lord.
Your mother's right.
He's thousands of soldiers. And this is where you see the difference. When powerful people face this kind of situation,
House Tyrell rebelled against the Iron Throne, against my grandson.
they don't rush to punish.
They did. And perhaps that treason should be punished. One day.
They wait.
After Stannis and Robb Stark are defeated.
Which means not now, maybe never, because right now they're useful.
After the Lannisters and the Starks, the Tyrells command the largest host.
Robb does the opposite. He chooses justice immediately.
He has to die.
He executes Karstark himself. Karstark's army leaves. His numbers collapse.
The Karstarks are gone. Almost half our forces.
He traded real power for a moral gesture.
I'm not fighting for justice if I don't serve justice to murderers in my ranks.
And this is where it becomes clear. Robb is not losing because he makes random mistakes. He's losing because of how he thinks. And it's about to cost him everything.
The king who lost the North.
This one is not just a mistake. It's hard to even justify. Robb humiliates Walder Frey publicly, breaks his promise, insults him in front of everyone, and then he goes to his house. with his army, his lords, his wife. Think about that for a second. He walks into the castle of a man he betrayed.
He's a proud man, and we've wounded him.
And expects loyalty. At this point, Frey has no reason to support him, but he has every reason to destroy him. And Robb still goes. And this is the same mistake again. He believes that vows matter more than interest.
Oh, yes. I said some words.
That people stay loyal, no matter what. Just like with Theon, just like with Bolton. He keeps expecting the world to behave the way he thinks it should. It doesn't. The Red Wedding wasn't a sudden betrayal, it was the logical outcome of everything he did before. By this point, Frey and Bolton are not choosing loyalty, they're choosing the winning side. And Robb is no longer it.
The Lannisters send their regards.
6 decisions, each one pulling him closer to the Red Wedding, step by step. And this is the part I keep coming back to. Robb was not stupid. He was winning battles. So why does every decision fail? That answer is coming next, and it has nothing to do with Westeros. The real problem, it was never just mistakes, and by this point, it stops being a list of mistakes. This is a pattern. Robb doesn't just make bad decisions. He sees the world the wrong way. He assumes loyalty where there is interest. He expects people to act with honor.
His grandfather's bannerman. We can't expect his support.
In a system that rewards betrayal, he's not reacting to reality. He's projecting his own values onto it. And this is where it becomes even clearer. Robb is not playing politics at all. No alliances, no deals, no attempts to break the enemy from the inside. He fights like wars are decided by battles.
I think armies give you power.
But wars like this are decided by systems, marriages, and gold.
Robb Stark had one, never lost a battle, and you defeated him all the same.
And this leads to the final problem. Robb is winning battles, but he never defines how to win the war. No endgame, no structure, no control over what happens after victory. So every win slowly turns into a loss. Robb fights like a soldier. Tywin fights like a ruler. And in this kind of war, the ruler always wins. What do you think? Which one of Robb's mistakes was the worst one? Tell me in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe.